Yo guys, it's Slander here and welcome back to another video, my good friends on the internet. So today I'm going to be talking about something that is simply not so different whatsoever, and I've actually already made a video like this before, but I'm deciding to redo it obviously because the video was simply not that good. So today I'm going to be giving you guys advice for getting vintage cameras, so let's get right into it. So this first part of the video is just going to be kind of a bit of an introduction slash what I would recommend for beginners. So what do I recommend for beginners? Well, get one of these. These are Hi8 cameras. And first of all, they're actually relatively modern. This came out I think in like 2000, and most of the time they are actually going to be working pretty well, depending on like the price you get. If you spend like $100 on these, no doubt the camera is going to be fully working. But if you spend like $30 to $40 for it, then the camera isn't going to be fully working, but you still get a really good price because first of all, you get a pretty vintage camera. Things will look pretty old when you film with it. The reason a lot of times these cameras tend to be really cheap is because they have bad VTR sections, or the recorder inside the camera just simply doesn't work. And I actually had this happen on this camera right here. This is a JVC VHS-C camera. It's kind of like a palm quarter, if you know what I mean. Now the palm quarters definitely tend to have really bad VTR sections, at least so in my experience, but they are still kind of usable. Like I said though, you gotta watch out because, like, you know, a lot of times people just don't really know how to use these, which is actually pretty surprising. But if you spend like $100 and you find out that the VTR section just simply doesn't work, then it's like, oh, I just wasted $100 on something that I could have probably got really cheaply, dude. But what I found though is that with this camera I could still use it obviously, you know, with my computer, VCR, and still record with it, and I have actually done that before with like these videos right here, and it worked out just fine. But though I really wish the camera was fully working. But I do have a fully working Hi8 camera, but I do eventually want to get a fully working VHS-C camera because I feel like that would be pretty sweet. I have a fully working VHS camera and a fully working Hi8 and a fully working VCR. I just don't have a fully working VHS-C camera. So getting cameras that go in the hand, or handheld vintage cameras, is a really good way to go if you're just starting out, because first of all, those cameras tend to not have that many issues, like I said, with like bad capacitors, and in general they're not extremely vintage, but they're still kind of vintage if you know what I mean, and still will give you a very retro look. But now, what if you want a camera like the one that I'm shooting on right now, a full-size VHS camera? Well, if you're just starting out, I would recommend getting something called the Sharp Slim Cam, because first of all, they don't suffer from bad capacitors, and in general they hold up really well, and you can get them at a pretty good price. But if you want something that I'm like shooting on right now and want to get an image exactly like this, then you're gonna have to get like an extremely old camcorder, like a Panasonic AG188, or even like an old RCA CMR 300 like I'm shooting on right now. Pretty much a camera like this. Now, the thing with these cameras is that they have a lot of issues with bad capacitors, or just simply the camera just simply doesn't even turn on at all. Now you gotta keep that in mind with these cameras. If you're gonna get one of these for like really cheap, expect to have something wrong with it, and you know, expect to, you know, be fixing the camera in some way. If you want to get a camera that I'm shooting on right now and get this extremely vintage look that I'm getting right now, then I would recommend getting one of the RCA CMR cameras, or the CM cameras, like the CMR 300 or 200, or even the CPR 300. And the reason why I say that is just simply because RCA, what I've really noticed is that they don't really suffer from bad capacitor issues, but most of the time they're gonna suffer from bad VTR section issues. Also, like most cameras under the year 1995 are gonna have bad capacitors. So I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but yeah. I also forgot to cover one type of camera as well. I'm gonna be talking about the camera and VCR combos, if you know what I mean, aka camera and a VCR that are separate. Now these types of cameras were released around early 80s and late 70s, and these were extremely early home video cameras. Extremely rare to come across, because I mean they're really old. At least they come across working. I'm sure you could probably find like hundreds and hundreds of these types of cameras that don't work for a pretty low price. But I hope you guys found this video extremely helpful. Leave a like if you liked it, guys, and I'll probably see you guys right on the next video. Have a good day, everybody, and bye.